You could go on Fiverr. Do you know Fiverr? Fiverr is like a place where there's just like a bunch of people in Southeast Asia who just do things for a small amount of money, pretty much. So like you can get like edits done really cheap and stuff like that.
So you're telling me to get child labor is what you're doing.
Yes, but I think they're meant to be over 18.
There's no way that's regulated.
Probably not. But you can go on a website called Fiverr and you pay them like $5. There'll be someone, you literally type in make me music. There'll be someone there be like, I'll make you a jingle for $5. You go podcast about powerlifting. And it could be funny and you just have it.
So we
Am
didn't
I kicking it?
We,
Sorry, camera.
we didn't intend on getting you on to give me advice on how to run my podcast. But
Okay, yeah.
perhaps we should do a second episode on this. But this is Brandon Tan, and I want you to tell everyone what your gamer name is, your gamer tag name,
Yeah.
and how you came up with it.
Okay, so I can't even not, I'm so used to looking at a
You
camera.
don't have to
It's
look
crazy.
at the camera. Look at me,
Yeah.
and then it'll look organic.
Just today we're talking. Nah. So my gamer tag is Bundun. And it's weird because it's not really just my gamer tag. It's like even my girlfriend I've been with for like 9 years now, and all her family all call me Bundun. And
Also, at what point do you call your girlfriend your partner? Like, is that coming soon? Is that what you call her at the 10-year mark? You start calling her your partner? Or is she just your girlfriend until you turn 30 or something?
you know what? I think I do both. Like if I'm in a really professional setting, I'm like, it's my partner. But like if I'm just with my mates, I'll just say girlfriend. Anyway, so the story is that back in the day I used to play like cricket during school. And mind you, just some background. I was like decent-ish at sport, like pretty good. And my school was quite academic. And I was probably like either the only Asian kid or like there might be 2 or 3 Asian kids like in my team. And that would be rare. Most of the time I'm by myself. So I'm playing cricket. And this thing always happened every time where it'll be like halftime, you'll come into the center and you have water and discuss tactics with your team and your coach. And obviously, you know, you're just drinking, you're talking tactics. And I'll bring my dad in now because my dad's a big component of this story. My dad will come to every game. Shout out my dad. That was awesome. But because he's from Malaysia, he doesn't understand like the rules you're meant to do. Like you're not meant to run onto the field. You're meant to just sit there, spectate, talk to the other dads, and that's it. But my dad didn't give a fuck. So instead, my dad noticed they were only having water. And because he's a GP, he was like, you want carbs, at least. So he would run into the field with Gatorade or Powerade. Normally Gatorade, I'm pretty sure. And he would run into the field and he would be saying my name. And the way he would say Brandon, which is my real name, it would be like, Bundun, got you Gatorade. And this would happen every game. Like, it wasn't like the first time, I think everyone around the circle kind of looked and was like, what's your dad doing? And I'm like, don't worry about it. And then it just happened like game after game after game till eventually the boys would just be like passing me the cricket ball, being like, Bundun, cricket ball. And then it just became my nickname. I thought it was really funny.
I remember the first time you told me that story, I like actually pissed my pants. It's so funny.
So yeah, that's my nickname is Bundun from that. And it just stuck with me. I think part of it as well, it's like, obviously like is a little bit like racist, like racial like background to it, right? But it's like, I think part of it is like, I think throughout my life, a lot of bad shit's happened and I've just been really optimistic through it. And I feel like it kind of like symbolizes that a bit, where it's like, you know, even if some bad shit happens, you can just kind of, gaming term, you can just like tank it, you know?
Tank it,
yeah.
You're going to have to define that one.
That's going to be so hard to define.
This is so funny because we've been chatting before we started recording and all these stuff you keep bringing up. You're like, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this? And I'm just like, I'm so out of loop of this world.
I'm trying to think of like a powerlifting example of tanking it.
Bombing?
No, it'll be like you're bombing. Okay, it's be like you're bombing and you're just like happy about it. You know,
So
like
you've
you're just like
just bomb squats and then you're like, whatever, we'll just hit a bench PB.
that's the best way to explain it. Yeah.
So
That's a better way. That's a great example, Chris. It's like you're at like a team powerlifting meet and you bombed, but all your other team just like won and your team wins. So it's like you kind of tanked like you tanked it. Like you're about to lose because everyone just popped off. You know what pop off is, right?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Thank God. Okay. Anyway, that's my explanation. That's what tanking is. I'm not going to explain every gaming term because it's going to just take too long.
Yeah, we'll be here for hours.
Yeah.
So we obviously met through Lift Performance Center. You were working reception and I was coaching there. And then you obviously started off your career as a coach, and we want to talk today about what you've decided to do with your life very recently.
Yeah.
But before we do all that, I want to get your first memory of the physical culture space.
Yeah.
The first time where you remember seeing someone jacked and strong and thinking, I want to do that.
Oh, first memory. That's crazy. I remember what got me into fitness in general.
If you don't say like Goku, I'm going to be so surprised.
It's not. I don't think it is. It's probably Ziz, straight up. Like, I think it was Ziz. I remember being at school. I was 15 years old. I remember my mate was next to me. I didn't really know him. I knew the gym existed, obviously. And my mate was sculling protein shakes. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I think he said just like Ziz, bruh. And I'm like, what?
We're all going to make it, bros.
Yeah, we're all going to make it. I'm like, what are you saying? And then, by the way, I remember this so vividly because he would then just fart for the whole of lunch and I couldn't sit next to him. I'm like, bro, I actually can't sit next to you. You're sculling these he's like a skinny guy having like the bulk like protein shakes, just farting all the time. And I'm just like, dude, I can't sit next to you. Who is this Ziz? And then, yeah, just got into Ziz. And I think actually the coolest thing about Ziz for me is what many people don't know. He actually was a RuneScape player. So like
everyone knows that.
I don't know. I feel like because his Ziz came back all of a sudden in the last like few years, like on TikTok and stuff. I don't know if you've known that.
No, I don't have TikTok.
A lot of Zoomers now like Ziz, but they wouldn't know like the origin of like him on like bodybuilding like forums and stuff. But yeah, that's actually my first ever. Now I didn't even remember that until just then. That's crazy.
That's pretty common. Like a lot of people say Ziz as an inspiration, like an early inspiration for them. It's pretty crazy how this dude, just like this shredded dude who went to festivals and played games online, became like an actual Australian icon. Like he's like a legitimate Australian icon.
He was just a gaming troll. That's what he was.
Did you know him when he was actually alive? Because I personally didn't know who he was until he was already dead.
So
it was like a Tupac thing.
That story was when I was 15. So that would have been like, 11 years ago.
Didn't he die in 2011? I feel like he would have been dead at that point.
He might have been, he definitely was alive. He definitely was alive. Because I remember him, he definitely died when I was in high school. And I remember that. Do you know, to this day, there's a playlist on YouTube, a Ziz playlist that all my friends still listen to because it's just fun and it's good vibes.
Bangers.
Yeah, I think if you literally just look up Ziz playlist, there's one playlist that comes up.
YouTube's just cancelled all the rest of them?
No, there's just one that's just so viral. Like it just got so many views.
Yeah. So how did finding out about Ziz and your mate sculling protein shakes, how did that eventuate into you wanting to do powerlifting and then, eventually becoming a coach?
So I think that's what made it like a cool thing to do for me. But the reason I really got into the gym was I was playing rugby and I wanted to be a professional rugby player. And I was obviously small. I'm still pretty small, but I was much smaller. Like I was like a stick, and I was good at rugby, but like the thing holding me back was just my size. And so that got me like motivated to the gym. Eventually, once I finished school, I damaged my MCL, and I kind of quit rugby. I just like lost interest when I damaged it. And at the same time, I dropped out of uni, and I was like, "Fuck, what thing do I enjoy right now?" Still, and it was just lifting. Do you know what a speed run is? We're not going to get into that. This is the shortened story.
A speed run.
This is the speed run story. Anyway, so pretty much nothing was going on. I had nothing to do. All that I was doing was going to the gym, not even for rugby anymore. And I was like, okay, I need to do something with my life. So I was like, why don't I try this like personal training thing? So I was like, I'm going to go get my Cert 4. I did that. At the end of the Cert 4, you got to get your work experience. So I was like, cool. Let me go. I was at UNSW gym. Let me just go to a random trainer. The first trainer I talk to, it's Mark Brewer. Do you know this?
Yeah, from Lift. No, I don't know the story.
So the first ever person that I met to get my work experience was Mark Brewer, who used to work at Lift. And he was like,
is he still at Steed?
No, he's not at Steed anymore. Okay. I was like, oh, can I shadow you? And he's like, yeah, of course, it's fine. And I do. But he was like, I don't have that much time, so we'll just do it all in one session. So instead of getting all the hours, we just did like one shadowing session. And at the end of it, he's like, dude, you should, I think Lyft just opened up. It was like early days of Lyft. And he was like, dude, there's this gym called Lyft. You should try get a job there, even as a receptionist, and just start. It's a really good place. And thank God he put me that way, because if I didn't go to Lyft, my whole coaching career would be so different. Like, that was just like the best place to learn genuine stuff, how to coach people. Like, and by the way, I wasn't very academic either. So, and people at Lyft like were quite academic.
Like for me.
Yeah, it would probably help both of us, right? It just showed me the light of like evidence-based stuff. Anyway, go to Lyft, get a job as a reception. And then the first week I start at Lyft, this is the craziest part to me, is John Tran's last week at Lyft. He's opening up City Strength as a gym. And he asked me, he's like, what training do you do? And at the time, like, I did strength training and I did like powerlifting, but I didn't know what it was. I just liked lifting heavy things. And that's what like kept me going back and back. And he was like, I was like, oh yeah, just like bodybuilding from like my like Ziz times. And he's like, dude, don't do bodybuilding, like do powerlifting. I'm like, okay. And then he leaves because it was his last week and like kind of like sat with me. And then I saw you like coaching a powerlifting squad.
I took over from John.
So you took over from John, and then I was like, oh, so like you're the powerlifting guy. I think we had a few conversations, and then I just started.
Yeah, you were very interested in and asked really good questions from the start. And I always kind of knew that you would be actually a good lifter and actually be a good coach.
Yeah.
Just from like early conversations, because you would ask the right questions.
Yeah.
You know, when some people ask like, you know, what do you reckon about this? And it's like very like surface level.
Yeah.
Whereas like from the start, you were asking me like really in depth, oh, what do you think about, you know, this method and this stuff? And I could tell that you were like actually on the ball.
You know what's weird? I've been thinking about this recently. I think that's like a gamer thing. It's like nerding out and like trying to like break down things. It's like a very gamer thing to do.
There's so many parallels with lifting and gaming.
Yeah.
And I think this is why so many powerlifters are gamers.
Yeah.
Is because there's this very clear, like, okay, when you start out, like when you start a new game with a new character, it's very easy to make progress at the start.
Yeah.
And it's really rewarding off the bat.
Yeah.
And then it starts to become more difficult to hone your skills.
Yep.
And then you have to almost like specialize a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same way as you would play a game.
I'm surprised you just did a gaming analogy and got it right.
I nailed it.
Legit, well done. Like, I'm so impressed.
I've played Mario.
Alex, can you angle your mic a bit further away from Brandon?
Like that?
Is mine okay?
No, yours is fine.
Like this?
Sorry.
Like this?
Do you want me to move mine away?
This way? Yeah. Okay. That's better?
Do you want to move mine away?
No. It is just picking you up.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
I actually wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
So I recently moved in, well, not that recently, but when I moved in with Chrissy, I had all this old shit. I had like all these Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And I had an N64 that I threw all of it in the bin. I know. I knew that you were going to be so upset with me.
Bro, why would you do that?
Because I didn't know that it was worth anything. And
So
also,
you threw all your Pokemon cards and your N64.
yeah,
That's so sad, dude. What N64 was it? Was this like a normal looking
just a
one?
regular one, like the OG. It
If it was like the special edition ones, that'd be very sad. But
was an OG with like every game that you could possibly want. I know. I'm actually really sad about it. But what was your first gaming console? And like, what games did you play when you were first starting?
okay, so my first ever console was a GameCube. Actually, I have the same question for you. What was yours before I go on?
N64.
N64
That exact N64.
Why would you throw that out? Even
Because
just,
I don't play games, dude.
but it's just like
I haven't picked up a
nostalgia.
controller in like, I don't know, 5 years. Like legitimately, it didn't even play games during COVID when I had nothing to do.
If there's like a parent right now listening and your kid has a console when there was like their first ever gaming console, don't throw it out. It's just like, it's almost like a photo book to me. You know what I mean? It's like throwing out a photo book. Anyway.
Yeah, I had like all the games, GoldenEye,
Yeah.
Mario Kart, Mario, whatever it's called.
So I had the next one after that. That was the GameCube. And the reason I got that is my sister, who's 5 years older than me, is like similar age to you. All her friends had an N64 and she never got it. So she was really upset. So she begged my parents for a GameCube. And then we got a GameCube and that was my first console. And I remember my first ever game was Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I still play today with Burke, which is crazy. That's a weird pipeline.
Tell the story of you and Berkman going to this Super Smash Bros. Tournament wearing Australian powerlifting suits.
Okay, so Alex sent me like some questions beforehand, and I was reading that one, and honestly, I was trying to think of a story, and there's not even a story. We're just being idiots. Like that was the
people. But Will, the way that Will's told me that people came up and they were like, "Oh, you on the Australian and like you on the Australian Smash team and shit."
We're kind of gaslighting a bit. That was the idea. We're like, it would be funny if we wore like some kind of suit, like some kind of outfit to this gaming convention. So it was like our first ever game, like in-person gaming event, and we were like, it's like a doubles match. So it's like a 2v2. So it's Will and I versus these other two people. And we suck, by the way. We're like the worst. This is like, imagine you're in a powerlifting competition. You go to like Open Nationals, and your Wilks is like, I don't know, IPF points, whatever it is. You're like a really bad lifter, and you just rock up in an Australian suit. Like that's or maybe something else related, like
all the gear,
Olympic gold medal,
all the gear and no idea.
Yeah, it's like rock up with the Olympic gold medal, and you're like the worst lifter there at one of the biggest events.
And your Olympic gold medal is for like archery or something. That's
Exactly, exactly. Anyway, yeah, and it was just funny, and we just decided to wear our powerlifting Australia suits, and then everyone thought we were in the Australian wrestling team.
So how did you guys get the chance to commentate Smash events? And then you went overseas to do that, didn't you?
I went overseas to be honest, kind of like clout chase, but like to commentate some events and like just try something out. That's a whole different story. But the way we got into the game because at Lyft, I was like the gamer guy, and Will went down some YouTube rabbit hole and got into Super Smash Bros. Melee and had no one else to play with. So he came up to me knowing that I play games, and it was like, do you play this game? Because if this is an old game, you have to play this, like games like Fortnite's all online, but this game was an old game from early 2000s. You actually have to sit next to someone and play.
Yeah, I've played Berkman in it, and
Yeah.
I just got obliterated.
Yeah. So he invited me over and we played and we got into it. And then eventually we were like, YOLO, let's just do a tournament, because that's what the YouTube documentary he watched was about, with these tournaments. And it's like exactly like a powerlifting meet. That's exactly what it is. Same reasons people like powerlifting meets. It's like your competition plus you're just with people who do the same thing as you.
Community. Yeah, a bit of fun, hobby.
Yeah. And we went there, and similar to because of my powerlifting experience in competitions, I went there with him and we were like, this sucks. Like these are literally a bunch of gamers who have no organization. And it could be just done so much better. And they literally so unorganized, they didn't have like an MC/commentator. So we just went up, was like, hey, can we do it? And they're like, no. So
oh, really?
They didn't trust us because it was our first time wearing these Australian powerlifting suits.
They just thought you guys were idiots.
Yeah, and like obviously everyone smells like shit and skinny, and we're like somewhat muscular, like probably to them like chads.
Everyone smells like shit and is skinny.
hey John. And yeah, so we
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's cool.
We can edit you out.
Now I've just lost my train of thought. Anyway, we didn't get. They didn't let us commentate.
They said no. Yeah,
but we planted the seed, and then we went to another tournament, and we got to commentate the next one, and it was really fun. And then COVID hit, and no one was running online events, and we were like, why don't we just run online events? And then we started running online events and commentating them as we ran them, and they were really successful in Australia scene. And yeah, that's how we got into it.
Is that how you started sort of making content for YouTube as well? Or were you already doing that stuff prior?
I was so on and off. I don't know. Like, my first ever YouTube video I made was when I was like a kid. My first ever viral video was.
What do you consider viral?
It has 800,000 views at the moment.
Bro, I have a YouTube video that has 160,000
That's pretty sick. Okay, we can tell each other about our videos. Mine one was a South Park Kenny Death compilation that I made when I was like 10 years old.
That one has 800K.
800K.
Nice.
On the South Park website, you used to be able to like get all the clips and put them together. And I did that. And then I recorded it and I uploaded it and it just popped off. And that was like my first ever thing. And then I was just kind of on and off until like the Smash stuff. But no, tell me, what was your first one?
in year 9 at the school I went to, we had to do this thing called tutor task, which was like a giant project where you had 3 months of the 3 terms of the year to do it, and it could be on any topic you wanted. So I wrote a book about basketball.
Yeah.
I literally wrote
This is awesome.
the 20 greatest players in NBA history. I wrote like a chapter.
Dude.
I wrote a chapter on every player, and then I did like a few chapters on like trends in NBA history. So I talked about like the high school revolution.
What year was this?
This
Sorry,
was
this
in
is
year
important.
9, so I was 14, 15.
What year? What's that?
2006, 2007.
Okay, yeah, really early YouTube. You made the first list. You
No,
made.
listen, I'm not done.
Okay, it's just really funny
And-
from my point of view. Anyway, keep
And
going.
I had a chapter on like the international revolution, which has actually completely hit because now the internationals are taking over the NBA. And alongside the book, I made a YouTube video on Michael Jordan because he was my number 1 greatest player of all time at that point. It's now LeBron. If you disagree, fight me. And it was like 4 minutes long of just Jordan highlights, and I like split it up into like dunks, passes, blocks, clutch shots, whatever. And I put on YouTube to the music Nelly, Heart of a Champion, and it just popped off.
That's mad.
And it's the only video I still have on my YouTube channel. I actually ended up making like a bunch of NBA mixes
And they never
of
popped
different
off?
players. A few of them got like, 20, 30,000, 40,000
That's
views.
dude. Back then,
But
like,
then I just deleted them all.
dude, back then, even getting 20,000 views is like probably equivalent to now like 300,000.
Yeah,
because
anyway.
there's like a viewer inflation
So
kind of.
yeah, that was my first YouTube video. And
Bro, that's
it actually
crazy.
did well. Yeah.
That's crazy. The funny thing what I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna make like a one whole video of like the 20 greatest players.
No, that would have been good.
If you did
But
that,
I didn't want to be talking and stuff in it because I was just this 15-year-old kid from
just a kid.
Australia, this white kid from Australia. Like, who's going to watch that? You know what I mean? But everyone wants to watch Jordan highlights.
And you know what's really cool about that? When you did that, you literally just made that video because it was fun. Like
100%.
now 15-year-olds, which is like a lot of people watching my videos that are around that age, like it's all money based. Like it's all like doing this for the job. So it's kind of cool hearing that
It
story.
was like a
'cause,
school. It was a school project, but I remember. So we knew going into year 9 that we had this big task, and I actually started writing my book like in the school holidays in year 8 because I was like, I like this stuff. I'm just going to read about the NBA, read about this all, figure this all out, start writing stuff.
Yeah. Dude, oh yeah, that's so funny. It also symbolizes your just like obsession to like what you're in.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
obviously like you still like basketball, but like obviously it moved into like powerlifting.
Well, I still like basketball way more than powerlifting.
Really?
Yes, way more.
In terms of what though?
In terms of following it, watching it, all of it.
What about even playing as well?
Well, I don't play anymore because of powerlifting, but also like once you get past a certain age, it's like, it's like, what's the point?
Actual question. Okay, so yeah, what's the reason you choose powerlifting to do over basketball? Even though you like, obviously you like in general basketball better. If you were actually like, you had to give up, if you had to quit one, which one would you quit? Outside finance, because obviously like it's your job. Powerlifting.
Well, yeah, I would say I would quit. I would quit basketball because like powerlifting is my livelihood.
Yeah, but if it was not your livelihood, what would you do?
Powerlifting, like as a hobby, like an outlet for me, is probably on par to basketball in terms of because like when I have free time now, which is a lot less than I used to, I watch the Rockets and I train.
Yeah.
So it's like almost a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a hard.
It's a hard question. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's interesting of just like, you know, how I was saying like when.
And I've got
first-
an equal size tattoo about each of them on my arm.
Oh yeah, because you got the
I got the
Milo one, right?
Croton, and
Yeah.
then I've got the Rockets one on the other side.
That's
Equal sizes.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, because you know how we're talking about when I first met you, and you're like, I ask good questions, and it's like I feel like it comes from that same like obsessive place, and it's like that story of you, you know, getting it like liking basketball as a kid and just wanting to make this video and doing schoolwork in your spare time, which like just cool. You
And
know?
it was always different the way that I looked at it compared to other kids. Like other kids would be like, oh, you know, very surface level, that was a cool dunk. And then I would be like breaking it down way further than that. Like, oh, look at his footwork. Look at the way that he does this. Look at like, you know what I mean? It's just like much more in depth, much more like interested in it than the other kids.
Yeah. Dude, okay, this is something I've been thinking about, and it's a bit rogue. You can keep it or not keep it, it's fine. But it's like, my friend came up to me and was like, out of the blue, he just messages me online and goes, I think I'm autistic, right? And I'm like, that's fine, like probably go see a doctor. And he was telling me all this, like these things. And I'm like, obviously everyone's somewhat on the spectrum, but it's like how far you're on the spectrum. And then like, I started looking into it, and I think I'm placebo. I don't think I'm like fully autistic, but I've like now like been like, maybe my obsessive nature is like something to do with me like being on some part of the spectrum that like
I don't know enough about it.
I don't know enough about it. This is Google research.
But you're really good at looking people in the eye, so that tells me you're not.
Yeah, but I think it's I don't know enough about it either, but I'm pretty sure there's more nuance to it.
I know. I'm obviously taking the piss. All right. So your first YouTube video, you were 10 years old.
Yeah, I was 10 years old.
And then you were like pretty inconsistent with it. When did you start making videos consistently?
So about 2 years ago, it was just after COVID. I got pretty sad during COVID, but like about normal amount, I think. Like everyone got a bit
quite sad.
Yeah. Anyway,
I had so many like, man, I'm going to compete. And then you're like, I can't do it. And you're like, man, I'm going to compete again. No, I can't do it. You did that like 5 times.
Yeah. Anyways, I was going through that, right? I was back and forth and things. And then I just decided I was just doing some reflecting, and I'm like, okay, I'm like 24. I've always wanted to like make gaming videos, get into that space. And I'm like, I pretty much have now or like never to do it. And so I just decided, hey, I'm just going to like double down on this thing. I noticed that at the time, TikTok obviously was early, but it was pretty successful. And I noticed that YouTube copied TikTok, Instagram copied TikTok, all these things. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this happen before with like Facebook, when Facebook started over MySpace, and just a bunch of things.
When Instagram stole everything off Snapchat.
Yeah, even just like Vine. I was like, okay, this is happening again. You know what I mean? And I know as well, partly from actually powerlifting, I'm like, there's people out there way smarter than me, like who are at these like companies that are making these decisions. And like YouTube is not making YouTube shorts off a gut, this is the trend. They have like data there being like, we need to do this to survive and make money. And so like, I just noticed, I'm like, okay, I have a few years left to like probably like make content and try before I have to do like something like properly, like figure out my like lift, like my coaching stuff properly. So I was like, I'm just going to double down on YouTube Shorts. I'm going to give it 1 year, see what happens. But I'm going to try my hardest, like actually dedicate it. Kind of almost did it like a program for myself where I like schedule, I make sure like I have like almost like deload weeks and stuff.
3x10 editing.
Yeah, like literally like being like, okay, what did I learn from powerlifting? Like, you know, and what have I done in the past? If I spend all my effort like in like 3 months, I'm probably going to burn out. So like I will actually schedule this and do it properly. And I just did that for like a year, and then it did decent. I'm like, this is cool. Let me give me another year, and that's it. And then that second year just fucking popped off.
What made things pop off? Like, would you say it was almost a bit of a fluke, like going viral, or was it like actually strategy that got you there?
The initial is like a fluke. It's just trying things over and over again, but kind of similar to what I was saying about, you know, how I came to you with questions, that story. It was similar to that. I got a viral video, and the minute I got one, the viral video was, I was playing Overwatch at the time, and my idea wasn't to become a YouTuber. I want to be a streamer. That's what I really wanted to do. But to become a streamer, I was like, I'll make YouTube shorts and TikToks to promote my stream.
And send people to the stream, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't really work out. Ended up getting this one YouTube video that popped off, which was like, it was me just ranking Overwatch cinematics. And I got 1 million views in a day.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I sat there and I'm like, why did this happen? Asked my questions, and then made another video and just tried to replicate it. And I did it kind of, actually, the way I did it was kind of like training a new client. You kind of like, you have these like general ideas of like, this makes a good video, but like they come with their own like problems and stuff, like a client. So I would literally do a trial and error thing where I'm like, I'm going to change one variable. Like I'm just going to change what I say in the first 2 seconds, what is shown, see how the video performs, but do it on the same topic, keep everything else consistent. And then it's like, oh, it didn't work. Let me try something else, but change that variable until I found each variable that kind of like worked. And over a long period of time, I end up figuring it out. While doing that, obviously watching podcasts, doing research of like what other people have done, but like trying to do it in the most evidence-based way I could, pretty much. And yeah, so pretty much got lucky with the first viral thing that motivated me, showed me that was possible.
And then reverse engineered the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
That's it. And here we are. And I still do that today. I do that every video I post. I always have, what am I learning from this video? And then go into it. Yeah. We've reset now.
We've reset. We've been toileted.
We had a sword fight. I lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, my stream was powered by Monster, so it was too strong.
Monster, please sponsor this
Yeah,
podcast.
please sponsor the party. How good would a Monster sponsorship be?
Be pretty cool.
What's your sponsorship? What's it called?
Gamer Sups.
Gamer Sups.
Yeah.
Can you get me some pre-workout?
Yeah, I can literally give you one. I got so many.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'd love some.
Yeah.
So short-term content, you went viral a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still make longer videos?
I'm now dabbling into it because it's just like better longevity. But yeah, so I just doubled for 1 year. For 2 years, I just did shorts, and now I'm getting back into streams, getting back into long form videos, and
do you post those same shorts on TikTok?
Yes. Yeah. So exactly the same. Before, initially, my TikTok did well first, and my YouTube didn't do anything, but I just kept posting the same thing to same places. And if you don't know, in Australia, you don't make any money from TikTok. Zero. So
you have to push it to other places.
So the only way you can make money from TikTok is through sponsorships in Australia. Whereas in America, you actually get paid per view.
Really?
Yeah. But on YouTube, it's different. You get paid per view. So pretty much what happened was I got to a point where it was TikTok first, then the YouTube built up, and then I was like, well, I'm not doing this. Again, I had the mindset like I have a couple years to do this. Part of that is I need to be financially okay or have like evidence that I can like grow this. And then the YouTube started picking up, and I shifted like my system to be on YouTube. So depending on how the YouTube video performed, I would make videos for YouTube,
but still
post to TikTok because it's just, why not?
Is there no point in having an Instagram channel with this as well?
Not for gaming.
Okay.
There's just not many gamers on Instagram, and hence why I've pretty much not been on Instagram for the last like 2 years of my life.
So what are the differences then in what sort of hits well on a short video versus what you try to focus on with a longer video? And what are the actual parameters around a YouTube short? Is it like less than 60 seconds or is it like less than 30 seconds?
So YouTube short 60 seconds. The difference between like a long form and short form video, the principles are the same. There's a lot that goes into it. The first thing is understanding what YouTube wants, and this is just a global thing across all their kind of medias. YouTube wants you to be on the platform for as long as possible. So if a video gets a viewer to stay there for the whole time, that's very valuable for YouTube. So YouTube will then push it out to more people. So that's like the 101. Can your video retain someone's attention? So in that sense, that's where they kind of have similarities. The difference between that is people on short form have easier access to go to another piece of content.
They're just flicking on
They're just
phone.
flicking. Where if you're on a long form YouTube video, it's much more invasive to leave than find another video you like. But because you're just getting these videos, you got to make sure in a short form video, you're capturing that person's attention for the whole time. And the way you do that is not just like, I think a misconception is like, it's just like flashy stuff. Like it's just things moving fast and it's keeping these kids' attention. It can be even more simple than that. Like an example would be a classic thing they talk about is like having like an open loop, for example. So at the start of your videos, you always got to picture it from the viewer's mind. So like your video comes up, that you have about 2 seconds to get that initial, I want to watch this. So that first 2 seconds is the most important thing. If they don't go past the 2 seconds, they're probably not watching a video. Everybody's analytics, it's like, even the good videos always dump in the first 2 seconds. That's just how people pick. So you grab their attention the first 2 seconds, and then you just have to make sure there's a reason why they're not going away.
So
at every single point.
How do you grab their attention then?
Many, many, many ways. It's
So
easier if you give me like an example. Like
if we were trying to use this advice to give to like a coach
yeah,
who wanted to make shorts, like let's say that I came to you and I was like, man, I want to build my YouTube,
yeah,
or I want to build a TikTok page. I don't have a TikTok page.
yeah.
But if I was like, I want to build a TikTok page, what advice would you give me on like how I start videos?
Okay. The first thing I would say is know your audience and what you're trying to get out of it. So, and what's your business model too? It's like all those are important. So it's like, if it was you, let's just take like your job specifically, because it's a good example. Okay. You're a powerlifter. So straight off the bat, we discussed about this today before the stream. There's only like 6,000 powerlifters in Australia. So if your business model was make money from views, pretty stupid, right? So like you're just not gonna, there's only a set amount of people interested in powerlifting. You're never going to get maximum views. But if your business model was like, I want to get more clients, it changes like a lot. So that's where you would start. Be like, what's your goal? Okay, it's not to get the most viral videos. It's to get people to like become a client. And then once we established that, it was like, okay, we need to like pretty much figure out hooks. So what I would do, and I haven't done this for fitness, which is funny, but I would then just you can go in like incognito mode. Funny. And
look up porn.
Look up porn, yeah. No, go on like, you can open up YouTube Shorts, TikTok, all that on incognito, and it resets your algorithm. And you can just type in fitness and just like make your algorithm completely fitness and just see what people are doing. And that's how I would start. So do some like base research. And then I would be like, okay, there's these kind of style of videos. Maybe there's like, let's use a podcast clip. I'd be like, what podcast clips are doing well with powerlifters? And I'd be like, these are the topics. And then I'd be like, what topic do you want to talk about? And then we'll pick one and then kind of go from there. We'll just make sure that the way you grab people's attention can be a question. It can be something visual that's shocking that they've never seen before. Like a classic one could be like, this is what powerlifters do wrong all the time. You know how people start their videos with like their full setup in powerlifting, like them getting under the bar? People are swiping away when you're doing that.
100%.
So it's like you want to start maybe not popping it out, but getting the squat call. So they're into the action, and that's the reason they're staying, because it's like squat, okay. The viewer's like, okay, I want to see them squat. They're already starting. Let me see that happen, unfold. And then maybe something suspenseful happens within that to keep their attention. You could even do something like, you could start the video of like you're starting the squat and then it pauses, and then you could add a commentary being like, this was the scariest thing of my life. And then continue the squat. You show it and then you explain, well, how do we get here? And then you could go into an informational thing. Like that's a banger video. Someone should do it.
Free advice for all of you out there.
Yeah. So like what we've done there is like just grab someone's attention. It can be verbal too. Like you could literally start with, this is the scariest thing of my life. Then the squat starts. And that's where I'll do my trial and error process. I'll be like, try one video like that, try another video like this, see which one does better. There's not like a blanket rule. It's just things work for different audiences. And sorry to go on another tangent, but a lot of people think the algorithm's this like weird magical thing. All it is audience. You can just, whenever someone says algorithm, you can just replace it with audience. Is the audience enjoying this video? Are their attention kept? Like, does the audience care about this? And that's all it is. And if the audience cares, they'll watch. YouTube will be like, yeah, they're watching the video the whole time. I'm going to push it out to more of these people.
And is that how the same thing works on TikTok and
yeah? So this
Instagram
is blanket.
as well? So if someone's video is not getting viewed by their own audience, Instagram has no reason to push it out to people outside of their audience.
Instagram's a weird one. I'll like openly say I'm not as confident on Instagram because each platform is slightly different, but the main principle is about the same. I've worked with some people. I actually do some consulting stuff with people and like help them, mostly just like friends. It's kind of like early powerlifting coaching. Like I'll just like help friends out here and there. And yeah, so I have some people do Instagram and it seems about the same, but Instagram seems a bit more random. Instagram as a platform is similar to TikTok where it seems more shared based. So like ideas that promote someone to share it to a friend seems to do better on Instagram. Like that's why you see all those like Instagram memes go viral. It's just like easy things like, this is funny, let me share this to my mate. And I think Instagram likes that and rewards that for whatever reason for their business. Sorry, what was the? I tangented. What was the main?
The question was if your own audience is viewing it,
Yeah.
or is not viewing it,
Yeah.
Instagram has no reason or
Yeah.
a reason to send it out to other people.
Yeah, okay, I remember now. So what Instagram will do when you make an Instagram reel, they'll shoot it to who your followers are first. Who are the regulars? If the regulars are not liking it and they're swiping away at the start, there's no way a random person is, so they just don't push the video. But if the regulars are loving it, they go, okay, let's give it to 100 random people and see. And if those 100 random people stay and watch through the whole thing, they go, all right, let's do it to 1,000 people. And they kind of do it like in barriers. And it's kind of like a science experiment, right? Where it's like we increase the sample size. And if they're still liking the video based on they're staying, they're watching, they're commenting, they're liking, we know it's a good video. Let's shoot it to more. And then you get a viral video eventually as it gets through those kind of 100 views, 1,000 views, 10,000 view barriers.
So what about longer videos on YouTube?
Yeah.
How do you kind of keep someone's attention for like a 5-minute period or a 10-minute period as opposed to like 30 seconds?
So I think by nature, like when you got to think of like, again, thinking of audience rather than like algorithm, like when someone's on long form video, it's kind of like when you go see a movie, you kind of know you're committing to this. YouTube long form is like a step back from that. It's like people can still exit, but they've already kind of like
Committed to it.
committed. So if you have a good thumbnail and title, that's like an interesting idea. That's almost like the hook of like a TikTok, right? There's
Especially because it says next to it how long the video is. So you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm clicking on this 16-minute video. I'm giving a 16-minute time commitment.
exactly. It could be like a JP video on how to squat, right? Shout out JP, homie.
Yo, it's JP. What's up?
Yeah. Anyway, when you see his video, you're like, how to squat. I'm getting to this video, how to squat. It's 16 minutes, like you said. You click it. And as long as you pretty much, there is a similar structure where you kind of need to like create extra questions and outlines at the start of the video and then go into it. A lot of people say you have to like kind of exceed people's expectations, but also meet it in like the first 30 seconds of your long form. I'm still dabbling and learning that stuff, so I'm not as confident in that whole world, but that's the general like principle.
So how would you apply this information to like a podcasting form? Like, do you think there's anything that you can take away from what you've learned to help a podcast like this, for instance?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. I think firstly, right now in the space, short form media is the way to get known. A lot of podcasts that I know have really popped off through short form videos. And I think a podcast to do well right now needs to really be thinking, how can I make clips that go pretty viral? Like, so learning the general principles of like what makes a good short form video. And then rather than just like cutting a clip of like, oh, this is a cool conversation, being like, this clip will show up on someone's TikTok page and like they need to be interested in it. So like, so it gets being an extra step of thought of being like, what clips do I like put out? Obviously there's like strategies of just like mass posting, like, but like you can kind of do like a mix where it's like you post a lot, but also have things in mind. And you can do exactly what I did, where it's like a trial and error thing, reverse engineer these clips, see what do well. And you'll probably find that there'll be like certain topics and things that people come back to. I think that's like the first step to like growing a podcast. I think actual podcast structure itself, hard because I don't have a podcast, but I would do things of like, I would try put the most entertaining and engaging stuff at the start of your podcast. Questions that are maybe controversial and like it's almost like confirming the click or confirming the view. And then, because like what happens in short form and long form videos, if you keep people from the start, they're pretty much going to watch the whole thing. So I would think of my podcast in that way. Like I would think of questions of like, what's the most interesting, engaging question at the start to ask? Then go into like maybe the more casual conversation as we relax. And then you can have like bursts of like really interesting things from there. Yeah, that's probably how, from advertising to like actual podcast.
I had one more question.
Mm-hmm.
How much of the content game is like figuring out what's trending at the moment and trying to like stay on top of that kind of stuff?
Probably a lot less than most people think. There obviously are trends, but the people who succeed in the trends know the basic principles of like what makes a good video. So the way you differentiate, like a trend is an easy way to get a lot of views, but if you know how to keep someone's attention, you know how to get them to stay in the first 2 seconds, you will be the number one of that trend and you'll pop off. But you can make any video right now about anything. Doesn't have to be a trend, and it could literally get a ton of views.
So do you think people like chase the trends a little bit too much?
Yeah, I think it's like a misconception. I think it's also when people chase trends as well, they think of it. So I've done some like trend hacking, is what they call it, before. And the way I've done it is usually what happens is there'll be some information comes out and a bunch of people just cover it and they'll get like the easy views, but they'll cover it in the first like 30 minutes, hour. Like there's people out there like waiting for news. News comes out, they'll just relay it. The way I did it was like trying to, okay, this is the trend, this is the news, whatever it is. I'm not going to be first, but I can make the best video out of everyone. Like I can add something different, add a conversation point. I could twist it, subvert it, whatever it is to be different. And if you can do that with trends, you'll have a good time. But relying on trends is very bad because it's just like, what happens if there's no trend right now? You're irrelevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very, there's a lot of depth.
Where do you get your ideas for videos from then? Like, how do you come up with all this? How many videos you put up in a day?
Oh, I go like maybe 4 times a week.
And how do you get these ideas?
Mixture of sometimes a lot of ideas that work in the past work again. So if you even look at the fitness industry, like you could look at things that I don't promote these like diets, but you could look at all the fad diets in the past, right? And be like, those have like intrigue to them. People find those diets just naturally like intriguing,
they have
right?
reach, yeah.
They're like shortcuts, blah, blah, blah. So you could just grab a fad diet from the past that's not popular right now, do it again.
It's similar to like, you know, when you're making fitness content, you want to appeal to the largest audience.
Yeah.
Which is predominantly beginners, right?
Yeah, you're spot on, yeah.
Which is, you know, means stuff like exercise demonstrations.
Yeah.
And, you know, those kind of things. And you can always just come back to those kind of things. And like, you can almost hit one of those every week.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. So you can do that with video ideas. Like people in fitness, people always, you know, want to lose weight. Like there's always a fat loss thing. Like that just been throughout the whole fitness industry. So like, it's just doing things like that. And then you break it down from there. You're like, okay, everyone always cares about fat loss. What are some things that, you know, have done well in the past? And I think that's also the problem with the current space is like,
too much repetitive stuff.
Not necessarily repetitive, but like the way YouTube gets rewarded doesn't incentivize like good fitness messages. So like that's what the reason I'm bringing up like fad diets is like, obviously they're bad, right? Like they're just pretty much random. They're just trying to grab your attention. But the reason they go into this, like the reason they get popular is because they do grab people's attention. So then YouTube then pushes those videos.
It's like dieting clickbait.
Yeah. And then also the other problem of it is that it has crazy engagement because so many people hate it that it then fuels these videos to go more viral because they're getting higher comment engagement and they're creating discussion. So not only is it people are just like people who are unaware naturally interested in it, the people who are aware are now also feeding into it. And now you get this massive mega viral video that has a huge audience of people who love it and hate it. And you could take this into like a political way as well. But that's why these things pop off. Like,
yeah, and then the guy who's saying to eat vegetables more often, you know, is getting 50 views.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's like, hey, vegetables are cool. Everyone's like, I don't care.
Fuck vegetables.
I'm swiping away. You don't make friends of salad, man. We all know this.
You wanted to bring up something. You said you wanted to bring up something to me this morning.
I was going to bring up the Tyler 1 powerlifting meet.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
Talk about it.
I just think, I thought it was interesting because it's like, I think it's an example of, you know, it's kind of saying, you know, powerlifting has like a set barrier of like how many views it can get. It's like the reason that meet has like 1.7 million views on YouTube, which is probably the most. So it's
explain in a bit more context because I'm
so,
sure there'll be plenty of people who do know about it, but
so
probably more that don't.
There's a Twitch streamer who plays video games, plays specifically League of Legends, and got famous for playing League of Legends, this video game. And he streams like every day playing this game. But he's kind of jacked, and everyone knows he's jacked. So he decided to run an event, which was pretty much a powerlifting meet event, and it was during COVID, so there's lots of people at home. And he did this like kind of journey of him getting stronger, preparing for this meet. And then there was a meet day. And the thing that I found interesting about it was like, you know, it's the most viewed powerlifting. It's probably the most viewed powerlifting meet ever.
It's definitely the most viewed meet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the most viewed video because there might be like shorter clips that have
yeah.
more, but yeah, it's definitely the most viewed actual meet.
It might be the most watch time viewed meet because it's the 3-hour video with 1.7 million views.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I think it was just interesting, and it shows that like, you know, if you do any powerlifting content, you can't expect this massive viewership. Like, but if you are a personality and there's a story behind it and there's something interesting about it, you can make a really high viewership powerlifting meet. But in saying that, I don't think necessarily going for these super high views, these super viral videos, is good for coaches per se. I just thought it was like an interesting example of how the way you can like get a really high view video is kind of make it more normie. Do you know what normie means?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool.
There was a trend with Formula One during COVID.
Yes, this is a good example
Do
too.
you remember the Drive to Survive?
Yes.
Yeah, so for the people who don't know, Formula One is fucking boring.
It sucks, dude. It's so boring.
I'm a huge sports fan, and I would not sit through that. And I have a lot of friends who are also huge sports fans who are now huge Formula One fans because of this documentary series on Netflix, Drive to Survive, where they created storylines around these particular drivers to bring interest in. And now, like, I even know females who don't even like sport who are like cheering for particular dudes in the F1 because of this series.
Yeah.
It's like craziness. And I think powerlifting can definitely learn from it. Like, obviously, they don't have the money that F1 does.
Yeah.
They don't have the personalities quite that F1 does. But they can definitely do it on a lower level to the point where, like, we can definitely grow the sport outside of the small bubble. Because right now we have this small bubble.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who like training who aren't in the small bubble. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, training, particularly in Australia, is like an enormous industry.
Yeah.
Like, people in Australia love fitness. Like, they love fitness culture.
For sure.
And there's a lot of people that you could get into the bubble by doing something like that. And did you see what happened with Sheffield?
I saw clips of it.
So
like,
they were doing similar stuff in the build up to Sheffield where they had like each competitor had like a camera crew during the week following them around.
it's pretty cool.
And every competitor was flown to the event a week early and arrived a week early so that they could do media every day. And like, it had a crazy build up and the meet was unbelievable. Like, it surpassed everyone's expectations.
And it had high viewers as well.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. And
Pretty cool.
it's like, it's really cool. And
Yeah.
it just goes to show that like, we don't have to just stream a comp from one camera and watch the spotters load the plates in between attempts because that's so boring. Like, no one actually wants to sit there and watch a 5-hour powerlifting comp.
Yeah.
But if we made it more engaging and we drew people in through storylines and through like general human interest.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
What does this person do? What do they do for work? Do they have kids at home? What have their barriers been to this competition? Get to know them a little bit. And then you watch them and you go, oh, that's the one with 3 kids at home and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask any, like, obviously most people listening are powerlifters. You ask any of your friends who came to your meet who like don't really know too much about powerlifting. I bet you the thing they will say to you is like, I enjoyed watching when you were on because they know who you are.
Or
like,
they'll be like, oh, there was that old dude who was like really interesting. And you're like,
But then everything else they found boring, right?
Exactly
They're like,
right,
bench openers. Like,
yeah, the music sucked. It was smelly in there. It was really hot.
Yeah. And like they only get excited when you come out. But that's exactly what it is. It's just like there's definitely ways to make it more interesting. I do think, that personality side and ripping that out more would be a good way to make a really big comp. I think obviously the hard thing is that like F1, powerlifting is boring, but also there's not much money in it. So it's like you got like an extra thing there.
Yeah, but
I still think I'm still optimistic though.
I obviously love powerlifting, and if there's a particular like battle that I'm looking forward to that's been hyped up on the internet because this has happened in the past. Mm-hmm. The prime example that everyone always goes back to is Brett Gibbs versus John Hack in 2016.
Yep.
And this was like just before you were getting into it, but you even probably still know about
I know
this.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for months and months before World Championships, these two were going back and forward, posting their training online. And it became like this big, like, I'm with Team Hack, I'm with Team Gibbs. And like everyone on the Southern Hemisphere was like, fuck the Americans. And everyone in America was like, fuck this guy from New Zealand.
I love this shit.
And it was like, it was so sick. And then the comp came around and Brett, performed terribly and John Hack crushed him.
Yeah.
But it was like so hyped and everyone was so keen for it that it like made this huge spectacle.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, it was running this place in America in Killeen, Texas, where there was like nothing doing.
Yeah.
But everyone was all over the world. Like I got up early in the morning and I went to Berkman's house and we watched it.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. See, like there definitely needs to be more stuff like that,
Yeah. And I think stuff like Sheffield is like what's gonna push the sport forward in that regard.
This is also it's actually
But we need to start doing this stuff on an Australian scale. Like, okay, here's our 3 best 83 lifters. They're going up against each other at 1 p.m. on Sunday at Nationals. These are their names. These are their stories. Here's a quick clip about each of them. Tune in at this time and watch.
Yeah.
And it's like, you might get an extra 25, 30, 50% viewership from doing stuff like that.
1,000%. Like definitely it's hard though because it requires effort and obviously other people's time because like, people in powerlifting have their own lives. Like they're not going to, like you have a family coming up. Like imagine someone being like, hey, for a whole week, I got to take you away from your family and we're doing media. You're like, bro, like, yeah, powerlifting is cool, but like, I got family and a job and stuff to do. So that's obviously.
I think in the right way, the federation can probably pay for some of that stuff. Like they can pay a media company to do this stuff for them.
Yeah,
and
for
like,
sure.
Obviously, it's a lot of work, and it may not fit in the budget and whatever. But that's beside the point. We could certainly sort something out.
There's so many avenues. I remember talking about Roy Lynch with this kind of topic, and was saying how in anime there is animes that pop off about like the weirdest thing. There's a bodybuilding one. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
You lost me in anime.
Dude, just there's animes about.
There's a basketball one.
There's a basketball one. It's really popular.
I've seen that one, yeah.
It's
And,
not
and that volleyball one, super popular.
It's the same example. No one who watches these animes care about basketball, but they care about the characters in the story and them winning their basketball game. And all it is literally just storytelling. Like if you, and that comes back to even just content. The best way to retain someone's attention is start a story. People want to hear the end of the story. You know, that's how you keep someone's attention. It's the same thing.
So your last job today, Brandon, is tell everyone where they can find you.
At Bundun on YouTube, at Bundun Live on TikTok, but just go on my YouTube, at Bundun on YouTube.
And could you be able to share this potty on there so that we can drive people to the episode?
No, I'm going to put it on my Discord.
Okay.
So I'm going to shout out my Discord.
That'll do. All right. Thanks, bro.
All good. Thank you, dude. Thank you for having me.